Vampire Therapist. This is a visual novel esque game. You play a vampire who wants to become a therapist, and you're just talking to other different vampires and giving them therapy. But the character you play as well is also getting therapy, especially at the beginning of the game. You get to learn about specific terms, which I assume are actual terms used in therapy. You get to learn kind of what they are and what it means. And as you're doing therapy and listening to these people's stories, you get the ability to kind of chime in and call people out on certain stuff of what they're saying. And that's kind of where the gameplay element comes in. You have to keep an eye out for, oh, this is them projecting, talking up, talking themselves up and not talking themselves down, or talking themselves down but not seeing the positive side of things. I really like the voiceover of this game. The main character you play is a cowboy, and just hearing them talk about like his origins and why he wants to be a therapist is interesting. There's a little bit of a stereotype there of what a Western cowboy sounds like, but it's also very charming as well. So the main character goes to this place to learn from this other vampire therapist that's well known in his field, and he kind of goes through therapy with you, and he will be there to help you out if you kind of get stuck and make sure you make the right choice or not. If you don't make the right choice, he'll kind of call you out on it. There's also other characters you interact with. There's a person at the bar who's like a human-based character who has a relationship with other vampire therapists that you're learning stuff from. You get to learn kind of a little bit of the culture of what that's like. The art style is really cool. The characters kind of do one of those things where they'll like move in a pose, and then in the next sentence they'll move to a different pose. You kind of see the same 5 or 6 poses, throughout the game. That's kind of what happens with these visual novels, is like they kind of just animate only a certain amount of poses. But it's not like an Idea Factory game where they're sitting there like moving up and down like they're breathing constantly or anything like that. But it was still engaging because of the voiceover work. Seeing the different vampires and their perspective of being like, what is a vampire's struggle? Why would they need therapy? And to kind of see, oh yeah, like a vampire can have like drug addiction issues, or, see themselves in a different light compared to everybody else does. And what I appreciate about the game too is that I've only played like a little bit of the beginning of it, but you have the characters, you see them, have a conversation with them, and after that's done, they're like, oh, I'll come back and see you next time, because like as a therapist, you have clients, you see them multiple times. So as you're playing through the game, you're gonna see these characters again that you're helping, and to kind of see them progress themselves and see how it affects the character that you're playing. There's also nice little bonuses to this game as well, especially to like after each day, or I guess each night, because it takes place at night, clearly, because vampires come out at night. Like after each night, you talk with the person who needs the therapy, you end that. You might go downstairs and talk to the person at the bar, or you might talk to the other therapist person and get their thoughts. And then you go into your coffin. And what's cool is when you go in the coffin, like they have a little TV in there. And straight up, I was playing it, and I think they had a whole episode segment of the Three Stooges in this game. The only like criticism I had was that like I couldn't figure out a way to make it full screen. So they have this little TV like in the scene, but it's kind of far away, but it's enough where you can see what's happening. But there's no way to zoom it up, but they straight up like put in a whole like thing of the Three Stooges, so you can sit there and actually watch TV in the coffin of this game, which is very unusual to see for like a visual novel sort of aspect, to actually see like actual video in this type of game. And I thought that was like a nice add touch. Like they didn't need to add that at all, but the fact that they did was kind of cool. And so they would add these different TV things. You could sit there and watch TV each night and something different would be on. So I don't know what the reason behind that was, but it was just cool. It was just cool to see. Yeah, in this game, it seems like it's gonna be like 9-ish hours or so from what I saw. So this is a game that you want to play in segments. Try to play it through, maybe see every client once, and then take a break, play it another day or next week, like base it on the actual story, and like wait a week, see these clients again, then wait another week, and then see the other clients, and it might give you a more realistic experience. You know, it's nothing like doing actual therapy or being an actual therapist, but just learning little terms and kind of thinking about how people think and stuff like that. It gives you just a little bit of insight into what it's like to be a therapist and go through therapy, and pushing that idea of how important it is just for anybody to do it. It's worth checking out if you like visual novels, if you want something with a little different flair to it. That's different than a lot of other visual novels out there. I would say it's definitely worth checking out. Just play a little bit of it over time.